Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out Am I the A-hole? Story 1. AITA for calling my coworker a nosy btch, after she kept insisting to know my husband's salary. My husband and I have, both 33, have been together since college. Over the years, he's had quite the career trajectory. He's a quant PM and makes like 10x what I make, and I make a good salary, haha. As we've grown wealthier, I've learned that people become nosier. Friends, acquaintances, relatives, you name it. In the beginning I would entertain the nosy questions, but since I turned 30, I've adopted a take no shit attitude. When people ask me how much he makes, I no longer say anything. I've learned the hard way that giving an exact number can have bad consequences. My coworker, 25, is new and she already has quite the reputation. Very chatty, catty, gossipy, you get the gist. You can just tell she craves wealth and status. She wears a bunch of flashy designer items and is always asking the ladies around the office which of the men are single. Last Friday, our office hosted an afternoon happy hour. She approached me and asked how me and my husband's recent vacation to Europe went. I told her it went well and briefly summarized what we did. Then the conversation went something like this. Her, so what does your husband do? Me, he works in finance. Her, oh wow, he must make a ton then to be taking you on all these lavish vacations. I hope you don't mind me asking, but how much does he make in a year? Me, yes, we're very lucky that he makes a good salary. Polite smile. Her, oh Simone, I won't tell anyone. How much does he rake in a year? Millions. Me, awkward chuckle, I'd rather not say, but it's up there. Her, what, he doesn't allow you to give an exact number or something? Me, visibly annoyed, no, I just prefer not to say. Her, laughs in my face, you'd think the stuck-up one would be the one with money, not the one without. Me, you should learn how to take no for an answer and when to quit being a nosy bitch. It's a valuable lesson. Then I smiled at her and walked away. Later on, I had a few coworkers reach out to me and say that she was crying and left early and that I should apologize for calling her a rude name. I refused. I told my mom and she said I was too rude to the new girl and that she's young and might not fully understand salary talk. I think she's old enough. Husband is fully on my side but said maybe I should fake apologize for the sake of office politics, which I somewhat agree with. But still, AITA. Story 2. AITA for making my brother move into the apartment. AITA don't know if I'm in the wrong here or what. So I have a few thing. I'm the youngest brother of 3 brothers. Since a young age I started working and built a career from scratch. Also I'm introvert. Me brother is a medical discharged from the military. I recently helped my brother move and get a job, so I'm just looking at these with a grain of salt maybe. But he moved and he had to do a month-to-month rental in a dry cabin, what he hated, so we tried to get a place that we both can live, and since I had internet where I lived I was the one searching for apartments and I finally found one and viewed it. He hates because of small bedroom while the master is big enough for me. I called it since I'll stay in there in my room just reading or watching YouTube. I really don't care about the rest of the house, but it has space for his dog and everything that 2 guys would need, and he's mad that the others are too small. And he wants me to search more, but these places an amazing deal. The area we are in they have a hard time accepting a large size dog. I also have bought a vehicle for him to use. So just I want to know, am I the a-hole for telling him to just accept this place since it best for us? It asking what conflict about conflict about making us sign a year lease with the place since he hates it. But I know it good for us since he need to pay some PPL back and it not expensive. Story 3. AITA GF never listens to me. Last night we were watching a movie and paintballing was in one scene. She's never been painting balling before, paused the movie and told me so in that moment, and was surprised that they hurt. So I was about to tell a story of when I went paintballing. She said she didn't want to hear it and unpaused the movie. So I quietly continued watching the movie with her, being slightly annoyed at being dismissed, 10 minutes go by and she pauses the movie again and said, I get you're upset for, but you don't understand how triggering it is for me to hear about how much I've missed out on life. Now, she dismisses me a lot, I barely get to tell any stories on my side without being interrupted, so I figured she should have a taste of her own medicine in order to understand that it's not the way people should behave. So I unpaused the movie and repeated her dismissal. I don't want to hear it, she said. Wait to be an adult about it, and went upstairs to finish the movie alone. So AITA? Was I not being adult? Consider that I've talked to her plenty of times before about dismissing me and I always listen to her stories and perspectives. Story 4. AITA for not including my sil in expensive gifts. My wife and I normally give our mothers and sisters, one on each side, a piece of jewelry as a gift for Christmas. I'm close to my younger unmarried sister and I enjoy getting her the jewelry. My brother got married this year and my family chipped in to pay for his wife's bridal jewelry. It was an expensive pearl and diamond set. I wasn't planning to get her anything else other than a few small things for Christmas after that. At Thanksgiving, she announced she would like rubies or a red stone for Christmas. My mom, Mill, and my wife's sister have never made demands on stone or anything. My wife and I decided my new sil isn't getting any jewelry after that, even if it's $5 worth. Things went from bad to worse when my brother stopped by to inspect the jewelry because his wife wanted something more colorful than pearls and she wanted red stone. She was coordinating what outfit she was wearing on Christmas. My wife left the room after hearing this and my brother and I had an epic screaming match over his wife and us getting her a purse instead of jewelry. I decided at that point, fuck the tond, my brother and his wife are now getting nothing because who acts like this? I told my brother to start the tradition of getting his wife jewelry for Christmas and he needs to start with rubies. My brother said he can't afford it after the wedding and his wife is now my sister and I'm being petty asshole. After the fight, my brother and sil aren't going to my parents' Christmas because of me. My mom said she's sad but she can't force me to buy my sil gifts. My sil now says that all of my side of the family hates her and that's why we don't buy her expensive gifts. My brother says he will never speak to me again if I don't apologize, but at this point, I'm considering that the best Christmas gift of all. Story 5. AITA for changing the entire birthday party plans because of a special needs classmate of my daughter. My wife, Laura, 35F, and I, 33F, wanted to celebrate our daughter's, Ava, 8, birthday by having a party and inviting everyone in her class. Laura's usually busy with work, so as the fun mom, I planned the entire event with Ava's input. We'll have trampolines, a bunch of Disney princesses and their castles, poolside fun, Twister, and a special scavenger hunt, mostly planned by Laura, with lots of dancing. Ava loves to dance. One of Ava's classmates called Penny has special physical needs and uses a wheelchair. Her mother gave us a call and asked about the activities. We explained everything and she said Penny would feel excluded if everyone was dancing, playing inside the castles or swimming while she just watches from afar. She asked us if we could modify the parties so Penny would be able to join in on the activities as well. I said I had already planned everything and was mostly focused on Ava's wishes for her birthday. I also said if there was something we could add to the party, I would, but I wasn't cancelling anything. Penny's mom called Laura and I a show-off and inconsiderate and ableist and said I should have also considered Penny in my plans. Laura says I did the right thing because the party is really about Ava and not anyone else. I kind of feel bad for the kid and I wonder if I am indeed an Story 6. AITA for telling my stepson to stop blaming everyone else for his mistakes. My 49M son, 20M, is in a trio? I don't know the right word, and he introduced his girlfriends, 22F and 23F, to my wife, 47F, and I yesterday. I'm so proud of my son because both of his girlfriends are pretty, and the first thing I did was have a beer, the legal age where I am is 19, with him. They had dinner with my family, and they went home. I was curious about the dynamics of a three-person relationship. When my son lived at home, he lived with my ex, his mom, and, I admit, I wasn't there as much as I probably should have been. I regret it, but I'm proud of who he is now. Today, my stepson, 21M, started complaining about how unfair life is because he can't keep a girlfriend and how he's still living at home, yet my son has 2 girlfriends and lives with them. He kept complaining and whining about how my son has everything figured out while he doesn't. I had enough. My stepson has always had this victim mentality. He's been in 3 relationships, and all 3 of them ended with him cheating. He cheated on his first girlfriend with his second with his third, and he tried to cheat on his third girlfriend with her cousin. He spends almost every day partying, and he hasn't been able to keep a job for more than a month at a time. I snapped. I told him that all of that was his fault and to stop blaming everyone else for his mistakes. That pissed him off, and he called me an asshole and left the room. My wife thinks I'm an asshole too. AITA for telling my stepson to stop blaming everyone else for his mistakes? EDA, I've tried giving him advice before, and he always disregards me. He keeps complaining and doing nothing to fix it, and I snapped. Story 7. AITA for falling asleep when I was supposed to make dinner. I 29F am a trainee teacher and I just started work again after being away for summer break. I'm disabled and suffer from chronic fatigue, so I'm extremely tired after work. It was my turn to make dinner tonight. My husband made it yesterday and the day before. I prepped everything as soon as I got home and then my husband decided to go for a nap at 5 p.m., so we agreed we'd be eating at around 7:30, we usually eat 7 to 8 p.m. I was hungry so I decided to have a snack, but I ended up falling asleep on the sofa. At 7:30 my husband woke me up and said I need to finish making dinner. I barely remember this conversation. I tried to get up but I must have accidentally fallen back asleep. I woke up again at 8:30 and he seemed mad. I said I'm sorry, I didn't mean to fall asleep, I'll start dinner now. Everything was prepped so it only took 10 minutes, but before I could finish he said he was going out for a drive because he's waited long enough and he just needs to get out. He left angry and came back an hour later. He had been to McDonald's. I asked him why he went to McDonald's when I had made him dinner. He said it's not a big deal and he was starving. I asked why didn't he just make himself a snack or something or wake me up again since I didn't mean to fall back asleep. He got really angry and started yelling at me saying he was too tired to cook and he's not my maid and I should have set an alarm. I didn't intend to fall asleep, so how could I have set an alarm? He's extremely angry at me for suggesting he cook for himself when he's tired and doesn't see the irony in the fact I was also extremely tired. I'm mad that he went out and got McDonald's when I went through the effort of cooking for him even though I'm exhausted. If he'd just waited 10 more minutes he'd have eaten sooner. AITA? That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.